What do you get when you throw a pandemic into an advanced society? The birthing of a pointless podcast. We are the neighbors upstairs. Hello again, everyone. It's Neighbor on the Left, back with another episode. And this time, Neighbor on the Right is here with me. Very happy about that. The neighbors upstairs are here to talk to you about who the hell knows. But I will start us off with actually an interesting story that's been developing, I guess, over the past couple of days. So Jada Pinkett Smith confirmed a rumor that she had an entanglement, or what the rest of the world calls it, a relationship with August Alsina, while her and Will Smith were on a break 4 years ago. Cue the Ross meme from Friends. She talked about it on her Facebook show called Red Table Talk with Will Smith across said red table. She said it didn't start out like that in the beginning with August. It was all about helping him heal some emotional, mental problems. The entire interview felt really off to me. Will Smith looked like he was in the sunken place and that he was falling deeper and deeper after every single forced laugh he shared with Jada. Jada said it felt great helping August heal. I'm not entirely sure what that means. She's talking about sex, right? Hey, I mean, she might be onto something.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, she might be onto something because sex reduces stress and lowers blood pressure. The release of oxytocin calms the nerves. Studies have shown that oxytocin counteracts the effects of cortisol, which is a stress hormone. Sex also helps you sleep better. All that said, still really hard to watch Will Smith partake in the cuckery. He looked so depressed and stressed out. Maybe there's hope for him yet, though. Maybe all Will needs is some therapy of his own and perhaps a Facebook show to discuss experiences with Jada. What do you think?
Sex therapist.
Yeah.
He should go see a sex therapist and have sex with her. That'll help him feel better. He was finding out for the first time?
No. So this is something that happened 4 years ago. And I guess he forgave her. Like I said, she has a Facebook show. She was just talking to him about it. And I guess she was talking to the world about it because this guy, August, has now, I guess, confirmed and said that him and Jada used to bang 4 years ago. It was so weird to watch because my initial thoughts are, why are you still in this relationship, Will?
They're such a weird family to begin with. I mean, you got the kids too. Yeah, Willow, and then the other one. Well, I don't know what the other one his name is.
Yeah, but they're doing their thing. Yeah, sure. They are weird. I actually like them. They're very unique. They're interesting. They've got their own little personalities that they fleshed out. But if you're Will Smith, why are you still in that relationship? Your kids are older, right? What's stopping you from moving the hell on? I've got a theory.
Well, maybe they're still having sex.
I don't think so, man.
Then yeah, why the fuck are you there?
I don't think they're doing anything. But I'm thinking that he's probably working on a divorce right now. I mean, after that shit, you're the laughing stock of all Hollywood. You are, dude. I mean, 50 Cent, I don't know if you saw that thing I sent to you.
Yeah, I did.
That's a real thing that 50 shared on his Instagram. He actually had that conversation with Will where he's like, hey, man, you okay? It's just, dude, why are you still there?
True. But 50's perspective is the more, I think, masculine and what may even deem the toxic masculine perspective of, you have to stand your pride and you'd never let a woman do this to you. But the more
it's not about women, though. Hold on.
Hollywood perspective definitely doesn't really care about that anymore.
Forget that, though. What do you mean? It's not about don't let a woman do this to you. If your man does this to you, you should leave your man. This is not a sex thing. It's a male or female thing. It's if you do me wrong, I'm out, right?
But that's just it. I think women typically probably forgive cheating a lot more because they tend to be more forgiving and empathetic, I think.
I don't know if I agree with that, man. I really don't.
It's a generalization. It could be that my generalization is not true, but that's
if you're a dude and you're probably not the best looking and you have a pretty hot girlfriend, right? You're probably saying to yourself, or maybe subconsciously you're saying to yourself, I'll give her 3 chances. I'll let her fuck around 3 times.
What if it's a situation where you're the woman and you got a couple of kids? Now all of a sudden it's not as easy and as simple as to just say, yeah, this fucker's cheating on me,
And maybe in the 60s or 70s. I don't think it's the same now, man. I really don't. I feel like nowadays women are way more equal than they were back in the day. They are making, I guess, closer to the dollar as to what men are
They
making.
actually make more in many cities, and they actually graduate with more PhDs, and typically actually are better paid these days.
Okay.
Compared
All
to
right.
single men
I don't
versus single
have
women.
I don't have the numbers around me, but I'll take your word for it in this context.
Look that shit up.
But my thing is like, if your man cheats on you and you have 2 kids, get the fuck out of there. Just leave. All right.
Yeah, but from a financial supportive perspective, that's another reason why many
Child
women
support.
might stay.
Child support. That's why child support exists. Alimony. That's why alimony exists. You're getting covered. The government is helping you out.
I get what you're saying, but
this
it
conversation
doesn't seem
isn't
that
about
simple.
why Jada left. This conversation is, why didn't Will leave? Does she have some shit on him?
Maybe.
I mean, weren't they like? Wasn't he like a Scientologist or something? Wasn't that a rumor? I guess back in the day that he was in Scientology with Tom Cruise and John Travolta.
It's fucking Scientology.
What if it was the Church of Scientology that told him, "Hey guys, you are a power couple. You guys can't break up. You guys need to just keep this shit up. You can't just separate each other. You need to be together. You're the power couple."
Is it really that fucking important? I think the mask is off when it comes to Scientology for most people. We know they're fucking corrupt fuckers, no different than the Catholic Church, no different than a lot of these religions that masquerade as being only about improving people's lives, but in reality, they kind of feed on people and use them for their own agenda and making and getting millions, just as the Catholic Church and Scientology churches got millions for during coronavirus relief.
All I'm saying is this, I'm just hoping Will Smith got some during that time as well, and that, we're just not hearing about it. Because if you were listening to the interview, it does seem that he got even, that he did get something on the side as well, but we don't know about it because maybe it wasn't an entanglement as it was for Jada in August. Because August, bro, basically the idea was this guy August, I guess, was like living with the family or hanging out with the family before Will and Jada got separated for a little while, and he came because he was like depressed or whatever, and they said they wanted to help him out or some shit. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, the whole thing is weird, and she decided to help him sexually, I guess.
Yes.
Right?
Let me help you with that boner real quick.
It's like the weirdest fucking thing.
I mean,
it reminds me of that movie, Eyes Wide Shut. Remember that movie? You ever see that?
Nah.
Yeah, it's a movie with Tom Cruise and Stanley Kubrick. That's a Stanley Kubrick film that you need to watch, Righty, and everyone else out there that hasn't. It's like this weird cult movie where you got like the 1% of the 1% throwing sex parties. No one knows about it, and it's only like the powerful that are a part of this scene. And
I mean, Hollywood definitely has some underground of a sex party scene, I'm sure.
What if Will stays with Jada because she gets the updated password for these sex parties?
Yeah.
And that's...
Maybe. I actually saw a clip earlier today about Corey Feldman from years ago on The View talking about, how there are pedophiles and really powerful Hollywood elite who have gone after, young Hollywood actors and actresses. And given the whole, what we know so far about Epstein, even Clinton's involvement, Ghislaine Maxwell, what part of the story she is, the puzzle piece that she is, all of that and all that we don't know.
Did you watch the Netflix series with talking about Epstein?
No, I haven't even seen that.
How do you say her name? Jalace?
I think Ghislaine?
Ghislaine?
I don't know, bro.
I'm going to call her Ghislaine. So Ghislaine over
And then
over
Trump's
here.
also part of the story because has some connections and is.
So let me tell you. Let me set it up. So in this documentary, it's a docuseries, there was this one girl who I guess was working for Trump at his hotel or something in Florida. And basically Ghislaine was at the hotel and she saw her reading books about becoming a massage therapist or whatever. And she's like, yo, I got an opportunity for you like a mile away where you can get some hands-on experience. And this lady, I think she was like 17 or something at the time. She's like, yeah, fuck yeah. All right, cool. And she was also poor, this girl. So obviously money, yes, I'm already in a pretty shitty situation. You can help me get out of this situation. I'm down. She goes with Ghislaine and they entered this crazy Epstein mansion. And as she walks into one of the rooms, there you have Epstein just laying on the massage bed, just naked. He's just laying on it. And yeah, man, it's like she was a part of it, man. She was a part of the recruitment that Epstein was enjoying. It's disgusting. It really is disgusting. And when you watch it, it's like, what else? What else don't we know? There's just so much that we don't know.
Yeah.
It's
Imagine we could
insane.
actually take a magnifying glass and just illuminate everything that those who have been corrupt in government over the last, let's say, 50 years, those that have been corrupt in just powerful places in Hollywood. Imagine you could just find out all that information in a book, all of it. I mean, that would be thousands of pages of
So
craziness.
supposedly Epstein and Ghislaine, they are that magnifying glass personified, because that's the idea. They have all these secrets. That's why these elites want them dead, because God forbid they talk, right? I mean, dude,
that's why
the Clintons,
Epstein was hung.
I think the Clintons, I might be wrong on this, but I think this is something I read a little while back, but the Clintons were on Epstein's plane like 37 times, bro.
Oh yeah, something like that. And not only that, Epstein, in one of his houses, I think in the one on the island, he has a photo of Hillary Clinton. I mean, Bill Clinton,
in the blue dress, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on? You know, so they're like these memes everywhere, like, oh, Ghislaine has died on, you know, it's like a future date, like it's already planned when it's going to happen. Seriously, do we expect her to live past this year? I can't see her living past this year, man. They're saying that she's already suicidal. They moved her to that place where Epstein killed himself. She's in that facility right now, and they're saying
maybe
that
in the same cell.
And they're saying that she's like depressed and suicidal. Like, get the fuck out of here with that noise.
Why the fuck aren't we having testimony today from her? Why isn't she being questioned today? Future date when she's hung doesn't interfere with us hearing all the information that she does fucking have.
Yeah, why isn't the media talking about it way more than they should? What is going on? Where are you at, CNN? Where are you at, MSNBC, Fox News, ABC, 123, XYZ, Alphabet Soup? Where are you guys? What's going on? Don't we care about the disenfranchised? Don't we care about minors? Where is the morality?
Everything's fucking upside down.
We're canceling, dude, we're canceling people, but we're not even, no one's talking about this shit. No one. Not really.
You know the couple in St. Louis that defended their property with their guns? So the fucking prosecutor is such a bitch. Oh, and she's funded by that asshole George Soros. But anyways, her name is Kim Gardner. She basically put out a statement when after seeing what happened from that day when not peaceful protesters broke down the gate, entered private property. She said something along the lines of, we need to protect the peaceful protesters to their right to protest, and that they shouldn't have experienced that violent assault. Last I checked, an assault and violence is actually hand-to-hand combat or something physical. That never happened. And now she had the police use a warrant to raid their house, take that rifle, and she's trying to find a way to try to literally charge this couple for just defending their property. I mean, what the fuck?
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. That's going to happen.
I mean, these are the Marxists who don't like private property.
Well, check it out. Did you know that in China, you're not allowed to own property for the rest of your life? You can own it for only like a set amount of years. I think it's like you own it for 77 years, something like that, where you have to sell it after 77 years or something. You could sell it to your family members, but you have to just continually keep selling it. You can't just have it. You need to sell it. I can see that being a thing that's employed into America, where safe spaces don't exist. Although safe spaces are what? They're like celebrated in places like, I guess, New York, Portland.
Yeah,
but
Fifth Avenue, safe space, on Fifth Avenue, right in front of Trump Tower, where we paint Black Lives Matter and we solve racism that way. Good job, Al Sharpton and de Blasio. You get gold stars this week. You solved all our problems with your heroic painting.
Yeah, no, everything is fine now. It's all been solved. Virtual signaling. By the way, virtual signaling is actually what gets the real hard work done, right? I'll have you know, like it is fixing.
It's going to solve de Blasio's New York City public schools, where about 50% of kids are not proficient in math and English in grade school.
I don't like that you said that, Righty. That feels like a racist remark.
Actually,
I want to paint Black Lives Matter on your forehead for that. And I think that by me doing that to you, I will have cured you of your racist tendencies, righty. How do you feel about that?
I approve. Man, it's just ridiculous because whether it's with corporations as well, everything is just window dressing bullshit, but there's no substantive action that's taken. And by the way, those who are against Goya, I don't even think I've ever bought anything by Goya in my
Me
life, but
neither.
now I really want to because fuck cancel culture.
Yeah,
Fuck these assholes.
I never go towards Goya products. I mean, I think my mom buys Goya beans, right? But that's about it. And I believe Goya has actually done a lot for communities,
Yeah, I
underprivileged
mean, they've
communities.
given a significant amount of food to throughout New York City, and now AOC within even AOC's district, and AOC somehow thinks that it's reasonable and just to lead a cancellation or boycott and not buy products from a company that has supported people in your city during this pandemic. I mean, how fucking twisted are you? Only simply because this person happened to make a positive comment about Trump.
Yeah, no, logic has been thrown out the window. Again, if your opinions do not align with my opinions and I am in the majority and you're detracting from that, well, you're a racist, you are a sexist, you're a homophobe, you are just
Transphobe? You're
transphobe,
an Islamophobe?
Islamophobe,
A xenophobe?
you're terrible. And you know what? Now that I've painted all of these labels on you, well, how can I have a conversation with you if you're all those things? You're not reasonable in your thinking. How can I
Yeah.
do that?
I saw a 30-second clip about a guy holding up a sign saying we should have, just free and open discourse.
I saw
He
that.
was supporting free speech, and then people just
They're like,
they
"How dare
fucking
you?"
mob zombie on him and call him a Nazi.
Yeah, like, you piece of shit. What's
You
wrong
guys
with
are the
you?
ones acting like Nazis trying to be authoritarians.
But
Honestly,
here's the thing, they don't see that
fuck you,
because
authoritarians.
they have these cheerleaders on the side, people applauding them for this nonsense. Public discourse is dead, or it's dying. I don't want to say dead. I think that there's still hope, but it is really dying out here.
Especially in academia. Fuck academia. Let's burn that shit down.
Yeah,
It's overpriced bullshit.
I was watching a video on YouTube where this guy, I don't even know what I was watching, but this guy was interviewing people. I think he was interviewing, yeah, just random people on the street. But then he started interviewing these two teachers, these white women who maybe are in their mid 20s or something, maybe early 30s. And he asks them, like, what do you guys teach? Like, what's your curriculum like when you're teaching kids? And one of them was like a kindergarten teacher, and the other one was a social studies teacher or something in like the 10th grade. And they both were like, oh yeah, no, we don't teach anything in their curriculum. We actually try to teach anti-racism. We try to teach social justice. We try to teach about protesting and about how there is racism going on and how white people are holding black people down. Like, this is what they're teaching kids, okay? They're indoctrinating these beliefs in them. It's become a cult, right?
Yep.
You basically become the thing that you're afraid of. You're afraid of fascists, you become the fascist. I think Friedrich Nietzsche said something. He had a quote, right? You probably know this quote. I think it's like, when you start staring out into the abyss, you become like the monster or something. I don't remember how it goes. It's a great quote.
Yeah, touche.
How are parents dealing with it, right? If I'm a parent and I find out this bullshit, how could I not pull them out from that public school? How could I not? I have to, right?
Yeah.
I'd rather homeschool
I mean, that's why
them.
these schools are fucking failing it, perhaps. Maybe these public school curriculum is at the core of many of these public schools failing because they're not putting an emphasis on the actual things that develop someone to be a critical, reasonable thinker and successful person. And they're just about making you whiny bitches.
Or it's teaching people to become these checklist virtue signaling citizens. You have to, when you walk down the street, you have a checklist of things you can't say, things you can't express, things you can't look at, people that you can't look at, and you have to also call out people. You have to call out people according to the
Silence
to
is
the
violence.
rules. According to the rules that were set forth by this new curriculum, I guess. People are losing their individuality. They are learning how to become this groupthink sheeple where, God forbid, hey, God forbid you go against the group, righty. You better not go against the group, righty. If you do that,
To me, the group doesn't even exist because I don't even exist. And if I and every other I doesn't exist, then the whole formulation of the group is in and of itself is a myth.
I'm going to have an existential crisis because of that statement. Thank you.
And honestly, the worst part about all this whining bullshit is that it doesn't talk about actual actions that we can take to solve problems today, right? So if we want to talk about actual systemic racism, I've not heard anyone at the forefront of the Black Lives Matter movement talk about, let's look at the NCAA, how the fuck they're taking advantage of college football athletes, college basketball athletes, college baseball athletes, all these players, especially basketball and football. They're making billions for TV channels. They're making billions for the NCAA, for the colleges, and they're not seeing any of that profit, any of that sweat, the blood, the tears, the fucking injuries, the careers that are derailed that don't even make it to professional sports leagues. And what about all the past? If you want to talk about reparations, all those players from the past, they fucking made you guys millions. I mean, I saw a story about this week about Zion Williamson, that supposedly his stepdad, I think maybe got $400K the year before he went to Duke because of some agent thing or whatever the fuck that was. Okay, so what? He fucking earned that. He brought that fucking attention to Duke from his play. He deserved the fucking money of his hard-earned work and effort.
That's right. If Black Lives Matter, then why don't collegiate Black Lives Matter? It's basically slavery. You're working for free, right?
Yeah.
You're working for free for your masters. And the masters, they don't want you making a damn dime. No. They need to keep all that money, right? What do they say? Well, we need that money. We need it. We need it for the facilities. We need to keep building the school.
Yeah, what about also the nerve that for a long time they wouldn't let them make money off their likeness in video games? I mean, what the fuck? It's their own fucking likeness. And then look at how Terry Crews reacted to Don Lemon this week when Terry Crews talked about he's bringing up other issues in the black community, such as the horrific shootings.
Well, black on black crime.
I saw a video this week in the fucking Bronx where a guy's walking with his, I don't know,
daughter.
6-7-year-old daughter, and he gets shot and killed right then and there, out in the fucking public.
Mm-hmm.
These are real issues that matter to Black lives that we should talk about.
Yo, and this is what pisses me off, actually. The news, so they were talking about it, and then they were like, oh, well, apparently the guy that got shot, he's also in a gang. So it's kind of like, it was a gang hit. It's like, oh, it makes it okay now. What? No, it doesn't.
No.
It doesn't make it okay. What is this bullshit? No.
There shouldn't be gangs
Black
that
lives
go
matter.
and shoot people, period.
Yes, Black Lives Matter. Not just the Black lives that you choose. No, all Black lives matter. And all people matter. People fucking matter, man. We all bleed red. We all have these bones keeping us upright, fighting against the gravity. What is this nonsense? All right? This is ridiculous. We're all about trying to be right and be more righteous than the other. And this kind of takes me back to Goya foods, right? I love people that are in power and who have a platform going against the majority. I love that shit, right? I fucking love it. And Jorge Masvidal, he tweeted this. He's like, yo, he wrote, actions of Goya foods speak louder than the hashtag woke mob. I love when he wrote that.
Yeah.
My people don't get influenced by those that don't know. They've been helping our people when we needed it most. And he shared a link. And the headline is, Goya Foods donates 1 million pounds of food to those impacted by Hurricane Maria.
Beautiful.
Why would you cancel that shit? Why? Because they believe in something that you don't like? What is that garbage? Are we not going to look at the actions? Are we only going to look at the word? Like, what's going on here?
Based on where they're thinking is, imagine one of these people is starving to death and you're offering them a meal like made from Goya Foods. Would they not eat it? Maybe not.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I feel like Darwin would have something to say about that. It'd be like, listen, man, you don't want stupid to keep breeding. You got to move on. Let's move on with the herd. I'm reminded of the movie Idiocracy. Have you seen that movie, Idiocracy?
Yeah.
You must have. And that's exactly what it is, man. We are all breeding stupid. And if this continues, we are going to have Idiocracy
look at how
in our
Nike
nation.
talks about, and they used Colin Kaepernick to make themselves seem as this wonderfully woke and progressive organization, yet they still take advantage of people who in other countries are making significantly minuscule amount of money. I mean, from my perspective, I don't even give a fuck about Nike. Nike's just it's just bullshit. All this branding is bullshit. Clothes is clothes. A shirt is a shirt. That's all you fucking need. You don't need even any fucking symbol on your shirt. You just need the shirt to be a shirt. I mean, from that perspective, I don't give a fuck about buying Nike, and I haven't in years. But someone in my family actually happened to be going to a Modell's that was closing down, so they happened to buy a pair of decent Nike sneakers that fit me. I'm not gonna wear them, but I don't give a fuck to go out and buy from
they're
Nike
shoes
or
they're
any
shoes.
company that isn't gonna actually properly pay its employees.
Yeah, well, look,
and I'd rather support, if I'm gonna buy something that's made in America, I want to support fellow citizens.
there's a whole problem out there right now where, like I said, we are all becoming checklist citizens, where we say we are against X, we are for Y, and that's basically where the conversation ends. You know, you have the left saying Black Lives Matter, but they don't say anything about how there is still slavery going on in this world, in other countries where black people own black people, where gay people get killed in certain countries just because they are gay. When push comes to shove, there is no action. There are protests, and yes, protesting does help.
It's all a facade. It's a game.
It's a facade, but it's also fueled with aggression, without any kind of plan, no plan. And if there is a plan, it's always like a Marxist. It's always got like this weird, socialist taste to it. And again, when you are thinking about that and you're creating a plan or platform around socialism, Marxism, what happens? What do these people not do? Well, they disregard their history. They disregard how, these systems actually failed. They failed. It's not going to work. It never worked. It's not going to happen. This utopia you're trying to build, it's not going to happen.
The word literally means nowhere. And we are fucking imperfect human beings. We can never fucking create a perfect system. It's impossible. And not only that, look at how Tim Scott, he from South Carolina, the senator, he put out a bill that's a solid police reform bill. Is it perfect? No. Does it bring about necessary change in every aspect? Necessary? No. But it's a step in the right direction, and probably has 70 or 80% of what the Democrats themselves want and would do if they were in complete control. But they didn't even let that go to a vote, because for them they'd rather argue and talk about how the Republicans didn't do anything during voting the election cycle coming up than to allow progress to happen now.
It's about the optics. The goodness for the people can't come from the right, from Republicans. It can't. The left doesn't want that. Okay, but you could say the same thing about just people in the right wing.
For sure, they've done that.
They also don't want. Yeah, they also don't want the left to come up with good solutions. And we spoke about this already in a past episode. It's truly a two political party problem. But guess what, righty? We have a solution to this. We have Kanye West running for president.
Yeah.
The birthday party.
Let's have some birthday cake. Let's go.
Kanye West. He's going to fix it all. Did you hear about
I'm
this?
glad that he called out Planned Parenthood, which was started by Margaret Sanger, who was a racist looking to exterminate Black lives and was a pioneer in helping make it very accessible for Blacks to get abortions all the time. If I develop the capability to time travel, and let's say just for fun, I go to someone who's completely pro-choice up to the day before the fetus would have been born into a human. And I say to this person, I'm traveling back in time to when you were still a fetus, and I'm going to have you aborted. Is that murder? Because now I erased what was a real life.
Well, if you're going back in time, it's not murder. Well, if I mean, according to people who are pro-choice, it's not considered murder. It's considered a choice that a woman has, right? It wouldn't be.
Yeah, I guess not.
No, yeah, it wouldn't be.
But then they wouldn't exist.
Yeah, but here's the again.
A murderless non-existence.
Well, yeah, well, I believe in the
parallel universe.
Multi-universe. Yeah. Like, even if you were to go back in time and you were to, I guess, I don't know, abort a child, right? I still think that person still lives. It's just that in another universe, they don't. That's just what I really, truly believe. Maybe I'm crazy. Don't know, but I really do believe that. I think that all choice gives birth to a universe, every single choice, and that's why there are an infinite amount of possible universes. And here's another one. I really do think that when you are dreaming, you are dreaming about your possible self in another universe. And you know when you like wake up, you're like, oh my God, I just died. I truly believe you just died in that universe, and now you're here.
So in this universe, which championship fight UFC 251 are you most excited for?
What a segue. What a segue. Wow. That was such a beautiful segue. Right. So UFC two, was it 251, 252? So by the time our listeners listen to this, the results are already in, and we will have found out whether or not Kamaru Usman or Jorge Masvidal are the reigning welterweight champions. Who do you have in that fight?
Fuck. I mean, I think smart betting or historical perspective says Kamaru will pull it out, but I want Masvidal to win. I want to see him pull it out.
What do you think is the first thing Masvidal eats if he does win?
Pizza. You know, he
Wrong.
actually stopped in Italy and had a bite of pizza.
You're
there.
absolutely wrong, righty. You're absolutely wrong. No, if he wins, I think it'd be
Goya
absolutely. Yeah,
foods.
I think he should just pop out a can of Goya beans and he should just start eating it, like right there and then with the belt around him. Can you imagine how amazing that picture and video would look all over social media? Holy shit. He would become an instant legend right there and then.
Yeah.
But I do believe that Jorge Masvidal is going to win. You know what? Let me backtrack. I want him to win. I bet there are people in Vegas right now, and that's like one of those prop bets where if he does win, he's got the can of Goya just waiting for him. But I think you're right. I think smart money does say Kamaru wins, and also I think Masvidal had to cut weight like 30 pounds or something.
22 in 5 days.
22 in 5 days.
He pulled it off, so it
He
clearly
did.
was not doable.
Yeah, he did it, but still, man, I feel like there's just so much strain on your body. And will he be 100% tonight? Like, I don't know. Will he? What do you think? Do you think we're going to see Masvidal when you got that quick knockout? You know what I mean? We're going to see that energy?
I'm sure he's going to try to start off strong. He definitely loves to start off strong.
Well, first of all, you said you have Usman. You have him winning, right? Decision or knockout or submission? Like, how does he win?
Probably decision if he wins.
But how about Volkanovski and Holloway?
I want to see Holloway reclaim it. I mean, because otherwise, if Volkanovski wins it, then it's probably just a similarly somewhat boring fight to last time. And then Holloway's not the champ anymore. I don't know. I think it'd be a funner fight and a funner night probably if Holloway pulls it off.
But then you have Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo, which again, I've talked about Jose Aldo in the past. I don't know why the fuck he's getting opportunities. It doesn't make any sense to me.
They actually used to spar back in the day and train.
Great.
And apparently Aldo was much better back then. But that's supposedly from years ago.
Yeah, wonderful. That's amazing. Why is Jose Aldo fighting for another championship? This makes no sense.
This fight should have been Aljamain and Peter Yan.
This is so stupid. So anyway, I'm hoping Peter Yan takes it and fights Aljamain. Aljamain is a beast.
Let's go, Mother Russia.
Then you got Jessica Andrade versus Thug Rose Namajunas. Right?
Yeah. And she actually looked really good in their previous fight together, except until that moment when she got slammed on her head and KO'd.
By the way, why isn't Rose? Why isn't she in movies? I feel like she would make a really cool Sarah Connor if they like reboot Terminator all over again.
I can see that.
Right?
I actually saw that she did an interview with Charlize Theron, Megan O'Leary, and her.
What do they talk about?
I didn't actually listen to it, but it came up. It came up in my YouTube videos.
Damn, bro, you had me like trying to figure. Oh, this is awesome. Are they going to be in a movie together? No.
Well, they actually were talking about
the same thing as reading a headline.
Guard.
Yeah, I started watching that. It's fucking boring.
Yeah.
It's so boring. I don't know. I feel like Charlize Theron, she chooses the weirdest roles. The Mad Max movie, that was awesome. She was great. But she keeps doing these weird fucking movies. Aeon Flux, I think that was one of them. Sucked. And some other movie that looked good where she is kind of like a John Wick.
Atomic Blonde?
Yeah, like it was decent in terms of like, oh, it looks cool. Story was shit, though.
A woman would not be pulling off those moves and that strength.
No, she would be. She would be. The story just sucked. The story was absolute crap. But that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Please don't cancel me for having an opinion. But then you got Amanda Ribas versus Ribas? Ribas. Amanda Ribas. I hope I'm saying her name right. Versus Paige Van Zandt. Who you got?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I've seen either of them fight.
Get the fuck out. You haven't seen
before.
Paige Van Zant?
I mean, she hasn't fought the last couple of years. Has she? Maybe she fought once, but she kept having that arm injury and having a setback.
She definitely fought in the past 2 years and she won. She's a good fighter.
Maybe
She's
I
8
have
and
seen her,
4.
I just don't remember. Isn't it incredible that Paige Van Zandt has said that she made and can easily make more money through Instagram than from fighting?
Yeah, she can make more money on Instagram and OnlyFans. Do you know what OnlyFans is?
Yeah, my OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah, man. Just by showing her feet, she can make like 10 grand a week. Probably more.
Yeah, so that's
ridiculous.
That male privilege right there. Showing off your body and making lots of money doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna. This just in. Righty's gonna start an OnlyFans account. He's gonna be selling pictures of his nose and the tip of his earlobe. How much do you think we're gonna get for that? Because I'm managing that. I'm collecting my 33%, Righty.
Yeah. So then I'll owe you.
He's got some nice ears, ladies and gentlemen. They're very nice ears. But we're not doing any bicep pictures, okay? We're not doing any bicep pictures. Throw that shit out of here. We don't need. No one needs that.
How about a 6-pack one?
No, you need to have at least a 7-pack, and at the very least a 6.5-pack. Anything below, just throw that shit out. We don't need it.
That's crazy, that she could make so much money through Instagram compared to fighting. I mean, it goes to show you that. I mean, she's not maybe a title challenger or a championship level fighter, but she's still a pretty good fighter. And it definitely shows you that there's an issue.
And she's hot. And she's beautiful. She's
it shows you there's an issue, and that Masvidal's not wrong that the players currently as it is, based on the amount they contribute to pay-per-view, especially if they are on the pay-per-view, the players are somewhat underpaid. I think some of them, the way it works, only get as much as like 18% compared to, I think, NBA, NFL. Those players collectively get about 50%.
And UFC I guess they just granted Venom a contract for, I guess, all the gear.
I don't like it. I thought it was cooler, letting the players be able to put as many advertisements as they want, and make more money that way.
So that's the question. That's really the question, and that's a debate going on right now. Well, first of all, right, how much of that money are we going to see? Are the fighters going to see this new Venom money? And why aren't the fighters allowed to, I don't know, rock their own gear? Well, yeah, conflict of interest for sure. If you have Venom being your primary gear sponsored company backing you, but you take away a lot from your fighters, especially the younger fighters who are just starting out.
Yeah, you're definitely making it harder for them to probably be able to completely focus on MMA. I mean, some of these guys who are more low level sometimes need to hold a job and work part-time as well.
Yeah, I mean, Miocic is also a firefighter. He's a champion. He was also a firefighter.
I don't know that he necessarily needs to do it.
He still does, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Does he do it because maybe it's like that insecurity, like, well, this is not forever. I got to do something else on the side just to keep collecting that check.
Especially, obviously, while the UFC is without fans, it's definitely a different situation. But when they are getting fans, the players do seem to be grossly underpaid, unless you're Conor McGregor.
Yeah, they're not seeing the gate money. They're not seeing gate
money.
Look
at MLB, right? David Price, right? He's played for the Red Sox. Now he's on the Dodgers, starting pitcher. He makes about $30 million a year. And for him, he has legitimate professional athlete privilege in the sense that he said, I'm just going to sit out this year's MLB shortened 60-game season. And he can, because why the fuck not? The guy's made a couple $100 million.
Wait, is he the same player? Already. Is he the same player that opted out of his contract and he's going to be losing out like $30 million or something like that?
Yeah, he was
dude, that is
about to make 30
is
this
crazy.
Year.
That is
he wouldn't have made 30. He would have
insane.
made prorated for the 60 games, but he doesn't need to because hey, he's
so
well
crazy. Oh man, to be rich like that, right? Like, yeah, no, I don't need the 30 million. Even if it's prorated, let's say 10. No, I don't need that 10 million.
No, it's something more. It's probably around 13, I would say.
Yeah, no, I don't need that 13 million. No, you can keep it. No, I'm fine. I'm just gonna be on my island. You let me know when this whole COVID thing and this whole issue it settles. You let me know. I'll come back then. 2-3 years. I'm good.
I mean, think about it
UFC
this way, right?
fighters don't have that. They don't have that opportunity and that privilege. You're right.
He would start once every 5 games, 60-game season. That's only 12 starts. He makes about $1 million a start. That ain't too bad. That's about 100 pitches for $1 million.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
10,000 to pitch.
Would you say that the UFC is more popular right now than baseball in like the past
For
2-3 years.
sure. For
Right.
sure.
Meanwhile, you have like these outrageous contracts.
Minor leaguers make typically over 100, 200,000 half a year of playing,
And
which
the
is
and
definitely
UFC
more than the
fighters,
low-level fighters on the UFC.
right? UFC fighters are getting paid shit, and the lifespan of a UFC fighter. I don't mean like their lifespan of them
And
living.
they
I mean
have
their
more
career
medical bills
lifespan.
and more medical bills,
More
for
medical
sure.
bills. Their
Well,
career
that's probably
lifespan
covered, I'd
is,
hope.
I don't know, man, but their career lifespan, what is it, like 5-6 years, and then I'm out? Baseball, you could play for an easy 20 years. You can, if you take care of yourself. You could play for 25 years, right?
Yeah, for sure.
How old was Derek Jeter when he started?
How about Bartolo Colon, man?
Bartolo Colon, that's even better.
And he's overweight, and he made it as long as
Right.
he did.
Right. How old is he? And how long
I
has
think he was
Bartolo been
around
playing?
45 or 46. He
Jeez,
played
bro.
that.
That is incredible. Meanwhile, you have UFC fighters. They have to fight for every single penny. They have to. And if they don't, well, then what's the point?
I mean, it's the same reason why I respect Jamal Adams trying to get himself a raise in a new contract, because look, NFL players, even the great ones, let's say even someone look at Darrelle Revis, right? How many great seasons where he's a Pro Bowler and deserves that Pro Bowler type of money, let's say 15, 20 million a year. How many seasons does he have at that? Let's say he had 6 in his career. For Jamal Adams to just say, you know what, I'll just take my rookie contract of, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 million a year and play out those last 2, 3 years on the contract, instead of saying, look, my performance is a Pro Bowl level. That's like saying, just, it's not a big deal to fight for what deserves to be a 20 or 30 million raise over 2 or 3 years than to say, no, I'll just not fight for it. I mean, performance should be the number one objective for payment.
We spoke about this. What team is he on?
The New York Jets.
Case dismissed. Case dismissed. The Jets are terrible when it comes to managing.
I mean,
their players.
That's why he made the trade request, because
I would
he realized
too. I'm not on the Jets. I'm
Jets.
not even on the Jets, and I'm requesting a trade. You get me out of that town. Yeah, dude. Football players are also in a very similar situation as UFC fighters are. They see way more punishment on their body than baseball players do, and they have less money going their way, unless you are Patrick Mahomes, and that dude is gonna get paid. Holy shit. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Paid.
Well, I think well deserved. I don't know about the number, but just the monstrosity of the number, I think it is more or less deserved. He was amazing in the past 2 years, and arguably the best. Incredible. I think he's arguably the best quarterback that's ever lived right now. Like in the conversation, if he keeps going this way, he will be the greatest quarterback that has ever played. He's untouchable.
Do you hear that, Tommy Brady?
Patrick Mahomes, he's special. He's a gift to the NFL, and he's a gift to the fans all over. And will he last the 10 years? Will he be great those 10 years? Maybe he will, because he'll be 34 when that contract expires. That's still young. Yeah. That is still young. He can get another $500 million contract.
He could end up making 600, 700, 800 mil just from his contracts in his career.
He could end up being the richest football player that's ever lived.
Yeah.
And if he keeps going this way, why the hell not? Why the hell not? And I'm not even going to argue with you right now, like, oh, well, teachers don't get paid, and I'm not going to even do that. I'm not going to, because I feel like it's a very lazy argument. I feel like that argument has been made time and time again.
What you talking about? What argument?
Well, like, oh, well, why are these players getting paid so much? Like these crazy contracts. How come teachers aren't getting paid as much?
Well, they're not bringing in revenue the way these players are bringing in revenue. Well, that's simple.
That's my point, though. I don't even want to discuss it. And it's also the point of, like, are teachers even teaching what they're supposed to be teaching? Are teachers doing a good job? That's where
that's
conversation ends for me.
Pay.
Yeah, well, the conversation ends for me
that
there.
Same with police officers. They're often more so paid based on longevity instead of performance, which means you disincentivize performance being the number one barometer for pay, which doesn't make sense.
Right. If Patrick Mahomes is playing like shit and his contract is up, I'm not giving him a great contract. Yeah. I'm looking for a brand new quarterback.
I mean,
or if you're a shit teacher in our system right now, if you're a shit teacher and you have, they have evaluations at the end of the year, I believe, for all schools, and you have been evaluated as a shit teacher, do you believe you're going to get fired? Do you believe these teachers get fired?
They should. I mean,
do they?
Unfortunately not. Imagine Mahomes, the next 3 years, for some reason, something mental happened or whatever, or a really bad injury, and he just becomes a mediocre quarterback.
which could
You're
happen.
going to release
Yeah.
him after 3 or 4 years because you can't afford to pay a guy 50 million if he isn't transcendent the way he's been the last couple of years, which, in other words, performance is dictating your pay.
And that's exactly why the conversation to me makes no sense. I think it's a very emotional conversation when you start saying, well, how come these people don't get paid more? These people don't get paid more. Well, why should they get paid more? First of all, are we seeing performance levels of students go up? And if you tell me, well, it's because they're not getting paid more, how could they? They need to worry about other things. Well, that's fucking bullshit.
Yep.
Okay. I don't need your whataboutism. What about no bullshit? I've had great teachers growing up, and I've had really bad teachers growing up. And the only difference in these teachers were their drive and their care.
You know what word came to my mind? Enthusiasm, which is similar to drive.
I remember in the sixth grade, and I'll never forget, I had this teacher. I'm not going to say her name. And it was the first time in my life where I had this teacher who kept on calling out all my bullshit. She called out all of my bullshit constantly. She always called out my bullshit. Parent-teacher conference, she would call out my bullshit. She'd be like, listen, your son is a class clown. He is not all that he can be. There's way more. And that's why I'm so hard on him, because he could be more. And by the way, man, she was like in her 80s. This teacher.
Nice.
And guess what? She was active like she was in her 40s. She loved to teach. You see, if it was performance driven, I don't know what she was getting paid, but she deserves $500 million across 10 years. Okay. But I can't say that for all teachers. I can't, because I've had shit teachers. I've had teachers that have no business being teachers. They don't care about shit. All they care about is that paycheck at the end of the week.
Shame.
It is.
It's
at least when I watch Patrick Mahomes, I get pleasure. I'm like, holy shit! Did you see what he just did?
Yeah.
What the fuck was
across
that?
The body, all that shit,
Yeah.
all the improvisation. Oh man, beauty. What you're highlighting also kind of is ludicrousness in anyone saying that people who are tied and stuck to a zip code and poor public school, the ludicrousness that they should remain attached to that failure instead of being able to use the grant towards the public school instead towards a private school or just any public school that actually is a good one that is producing results.
Well, you're about to open up a can of worms here, righty. We're not ready to do that. But yes, I do think there's a lot of issue with that, especially in New York. You could say that it's mob rule. There are mafias out there that don't want these things to work out. When I say mafia, don't be naive. I'm not saying actual mafias. I'm saying governments that are incentivized to not have your kids have that choice of going to another school if the school is shit. There are incentives keeping students there in failing schools. We're not going to talk about that because, righty, we are at the very end of the show. This has been a longer episode, I believe. I feel like we've been talking for over 40 minutes. I've had a really good time talking to you.
Same.
It feels like we're complaining ourselves about how everything is so messed up, but I want to leave everyone with this. I think that we're actually in a better place because we are allowing ourselves to talk about it, everything that's happening. And hopefully with us talking about it and other people talking about it, everyone else listening will start talking about it too. Questioning. Always keep questioning.
Question everything.
Question everything. Neighbors, thank you. And alrighty, do you want to say anything? You want to recommend an episode or a YouTube show or something?
I'll recommend the stand-up comedy special I saw this week that brought a lot of laughs into my day, which was Louis C.K.'s special that came out in April.
I like how you're ending this show on Louis C.K. God, I love you. That being said, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and please stay safe.
Later.